Pay attention to the girl in the navy blue backpack. Her name is Emma Caldwell. She's 17 years old, a junior at Riverside High School. It's Thursday, October 12th, 2023, and she's walking through the automatic doors of a FamilyMart convenience store at 3:47 p.m. Watch her browse the drink cooler. She selects a bottle of green tea. She's smiling at something on her phone. Emma is supposed to be home by 5 o'clock p.m. Her mother is making her favorite dinner, chicken parmesan, to celebrate Emma's acceptance into the pre-med summer program at Ohio State. The acceptance letter arrived that morning. Emma had read it 3 times before school, hardly believing it was real. Now, pay attention to the man standing near the magazine rack. His name is Kofi Mensah. He's watching Emma. He's been watching her for 6 days. Within 2 hours, Emma's phone would be turned off forever. This was not a random encounter. It was a carefully planned abduction. Emma Caldwell was the kind of teenager parents held up as an example. She tutored younger students in chemistry. She volunteered at the Children's Hospital every Saturday morning. Her bedroom walls were covered with anatomical charts and acceptance letters from science camps. She wanted to be a pediatric surgeon. She had wanted this since she was 12 years old, when an emergency room doctor had saved her younger brother's life after a skateboarding accident. Her social media presence was minimal and purposeful. No party photos, no drama. Her Instagram account featured lab experiments, study notes, and inspirational quotes about perseverance. The most recent post, from that very morning, showed the Ohio State acceptance letter with the caption, "Dreams do come true if you work hard enough. Next stop, medical school." She was careful. She was responsible. She did everything right. At 3:51 p.m., Emma exited the FamilyMart. Security footage shows her walking east on Riverside Avenue toward the bus stop. She's still looking at her phone. She's texting her mother, "Leaving now. Be home soon. Love you." The message delivered. Her mother saw it. She sent back a heart emoji and the words, "Can't wait to celebrate with you, sweetheart." It was the last communication Emma would ever send. At 3:54 p.m., a silver Honda Accord pulled alongside Emma at the intersection of Riverside and Oak Street. Traffic cameras captured the vehicle. The driver's side window was down. Kofi Mensah was behind the wheel. Witnesses would later tell investigators they saw a brief interaction. The man appeared to be asking for directions. Emma approached the vehicle. She was helpful by nature. She leaned toward the passenger window. The conversation lasted less than 30 seconds. Emma opened the passenger door. She got inside. The Honda turned right onto Oak Street and disappeared from view. Jennifer Caldwell expected her daughter home by 5 o'clock p.m. By 5:15, she was concerned. By 5:30, she was calling Emma's phone. It went straight to voicemail. By 6 o'clock p.m., Jennifer was in her car, retracing Emma's route from school to home. She stopped at the FamilyMart. The clerk remembered Emma, the girl who bought green tea. He hadn't seen her since. At 6:45 p.m., Jennifer called the police. The responding officer took down the information. 17-year-old female. Last seen leaving school at 3:30 p.m. Phone going to voicemail. No history of running away. No boyfriend. No recent conflicts. The officer noted Jennifer's distress, but suggested Emma might be with friends, might have lost track of time. Jennifer Caldwell knew better. Her daughter always called. Always. By 9 o'clock p.m., Emma's disappearance was officially classified as a missing persons case. Detective Rachel Nguyen caught the assignment. She was a 12-year veteran of the department with a specialization in crimes against children. She reviewed Emma's profile and immediately elevated the case to high priority. This was not a runaway. This was an abduction. The first 48 hours in a missing persons case are critical. Evidence degrades. Memories fade. Trails grow cold. Detective Nguyen knew this. She worked without sleep. The investigation began with Emma's digital footprint. Her phone record showed the last activity at 3:51 p.m., the text to her mother. Then, nothing. The device had been powered off or destroyed. Cell tower data placed the phone's last ping near the intersection of Riverside and Oak. Nguyen's team canvassed the area. They pulled surveillance footage from every business within a 6-block radius. The FamilyMart footage was clear. Emma entered at 3:47 p.m., purchased green tea, left at 3:51 p.m. She appeared calm, happy, unaware of any danger. Traffic cameras at the Oak Street intersection provided the breakthrough. At 3:54 p.m., Emma Caldwell got into a silver Honda Accord, license plate visible. The vehicle was registered to Kofi Mensah, age 41, a Ghanaian immigrant who had lived in the United States for 14 years. He worked as a senior custodian at a private office complex downtown. He had no criminal record. He was married with 3 children. On the surface, he was unremarkable. Detective Nguyen obtained a warrant for Mensah's home and vehicle within 6 hours of identifying him. The search of Kofi Mensah's residence took place at 4:30 a.m. on Friday, October 13th. Police found Mensah asleep in the master bedroom. His wife and children were in the home. The Honda Accord was parked in the driveway. Mensah was cooperative. He denied knowing Emma Caldwell. He claimed he had been at work all day Thursday, then home with his family. He provided no explanation for why Emma had been captured on camera entering his vehicle. The forensic examination of the Honda told a different story. Emma's DNA was found on the passenger seat. Strands of her hair were discovered in the trunk. Her green tea bottle, the one purchased at FamilyMart, was recovered from beneath the driver's seat. Empty, fingerprints wiped clean. Most damning, Emma's navy blue backpack was hidden in the garage, stuffed behind a tool chest. Inside were her textbooks, notebooks, the Ohio State acceptance letter, and her wallet. Her phone was not there. Mensah was arrested at 7:15 a.m. on October 13th and charged with kidnapping. He requested a lawyer immediately. The interrogation stopped. Emma Caldwell was still missing. The investigation expanded. Forensic teams tore apart Mensah's life. They examined his work computer, his personal laptop, his phone records, his financial transactions. What they found was chilling. Mensah had been following Emma for nearly 2 weeks. His vehicle had been spotted multiple times near Riverside High School during dismissal. Traffic cameras captured his Honda parked across from the school on October 2nd, October 5th, and October 11th. He had been studying her routine. His work schedule was revealing. Mensah's shift ended at 3:00 p.m. every weekday. He had 45 minutes of unsupervised time before he was expected home. He had been using that time to hunt. His laptop browser history showed searches for teenage girl walking alone, how long before missing person investigation, and disable cell phone tracking. The searches dated back 3 weeks. Investigators also found a folded piece of paper in his wallet. On it was written Emma's name, her school, and the words, "Smart, careful, challenge." This was not impulsive. This was predatory. Detective Nguyen needed Mensah to reveal Emma's location. Kidnapping victims have the highest survival rate when recovered within the first 72 hours. Time was running out. The interrogation resumed with Mensah's attorney present. Nguyen laid out the evidence methodically. The surveillance footage, the DNA, the backpack, the browser history, the note in his wallet. Mensah sat in silence for 2 hours. Finally, he spoke. He would provide Emma's location in exchange for considerations in sentencing. His attorney negotiated the terms. Mensah would plead guilty to kidnapping. In exchange, prosecutors would not pursue additional charges and would recommend a sentence on the lower end of the sentencing guidelines. The deal was approved by the district attorney within 40 minutes. At 6:20 p.m. on Friday, October 13th, exactly 51 hours after Emma's disappearance, Kofi Mensah provided GPS coordinates to a storage facility on the outskirts of the city, Unit 237. Police arrived with tactical units, paramedics, and Detective Nguyen. They cut the lock on Unit 237 at 6:58 p.m. Emma Caldwell was inside. She was alive. Barely. She was bound with zip ties at her wrists and ankles. Duct tape covered her mouth. She was shivering uncontrollably despite the mild October evening. She had been given no food or water since her abduction. She was disoriented and in shock. Paramedics worked quickly. They removed the restraints, assessed her condition, wrapped her in thermal blankets. She was transported to Memorial Hospital within minutes. Physical examination revealed bruising on her arms and legs, dehydration, and mild hypothermia. She had been sexually assaulted. The medical team collected evidence for the sexual assault kit. A child psychologist was brought in to speak with Emma when she was ready. Jennifer Caldwell arrived at the hospital at 7:45 p.m. She hadn't slept in 2 days. She sat beside Emma's bed and held her daughter's hand. Emma couldn't speak for hours. She just held on. Emma's testimony, when she was able to provide it, filled in the gaps. Mensah had stopped his vehicle and asked for directions to a nearby pharmacy. Emma had approached to help. When she leaned toward the passenger window, he showed her a photo on his phone. A little girl, he claimed, who needed emergency medication. He said the pharmacy was closed and he was desperate. He asked if Emma knew of another location. Emma, compassionate and trusting, got into the vehicle to use her phone's GPS to help him find an open pharmacy. Mensah locked the doors as soon as she was inside. He drove directly to the storage facility. He told Emma that if she screamed or fought, he would hurt her mother and younger brother. He knew their names. He knew where they lived. Emma believed him. She complied. The storage unit had been rented by Mensah 3 weeks earlier, paid in cash, under a fake name. It was soundproofed with foam padding. It contained a sleeping bag, bottled water, zip ties, duct tape, and a portable camping stove. It had been prepared in advance. Mensah kept Emma there for 51 hours. He assaulted her multiple times. He told her she reminded him of his daughter. He told her she should feel honored. He told her he would let her go when he was finished. Emma didn't believe he would let her go. She believed she was going to die in that storage unit. Kofi Mensah's case went to trial in March 2024. He had already pleaded guilty to kidnapping, but the district attorney added charges of aggravated sexual assault, unlawful restraint, and endangering the welfare of a child after Emma's full testimony. The defense argued that Mensah suffered from untreated mental illness, stemming from trauma he experienced as a refugee fleeing violence in Ghana. They presented evidence of his difficult childhood, his struggles to assimilate, his untreated depression, and anxiety. The prosecution acknowledged these factors, but emphasized the calculated, predatory nature of his actions. The planning, the surveillance, the prepared storage unit, the fake story to lure Emma into the vehicle. Assistant District Attorney Michael Torres was direct in his closing argument. Trauma may explain behavior. It does not justify it. This man hunted a child. He planned every detail. He knew exactly what he was doing. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. They found Mensah guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Emma Caldwell did not return to Riverside High School. She completed her junior and senior years through an online program from home. She declined the Ohio State pre-med summer program. She couldn't imagine leaving her mother and brother for an extended period. She struggles with PTSD. Loud noises trigger panic attacks. She can't be in cars with men she doesn't know. She sees a therapist twice a week. She takes medication for anxiety and depression. But Emma is also a survivor. In 2025, she enrolled at a local community college with plans to transfer to a 4-year university. She's studying psychology now, not medicine. She wants to help other survivors of violent crime. She volunteers with a victim advocacy organization. She speaks at high schools about awareness and safety. Jennifer Caldwell quit her job as an accountant to focus on advocacy work. She lobbied for legislation requiring better training for law enforcement on the critical first hours of missing persons cases. The Emma Caldwell Act, passed in Ohio in 2024, mandates that all missing persons reports involving minors be treated as high priority, immediately, with no waiting period. Emma's younger brother, Lucas, struggles with guilt. He believes he should have protected his sister somehow, even though he was 12 years old and miles away when she was taken. He's in therapy too. The family moved to a new house in a different neighborhood. They needed a fresh start. The storage facility on the outskirts of the city remains operational. Unit 237 has been rented to different tenants since October 2023. The management declined to place a memorial marker. They said it would be bad for business. Emma knows this. She doesn't care about a marker. She's alive. That's what matters. On October 12, 2025, exactly 2 years after her abduction, Emma posted on Instagram for the first time in 2 years. The post showed her sitting in a college classroom, smiling, holding a psychology textbook. The caption read, "Still here, still fighting, still dreaming." Her mother commented first, a heart emoji and the words, "So proud of you, sweetheart." Emma Caldwell survived. She's rebuilding her life. She's reclaiming her future. Kofi Mensah will spend the rest of his life in prison. The security footage from FamilyMart, Emma at 3:47 p.m., smiling, unaware, has been archived as evidence. It will remain sealed until Mensah's sentence is complete in 2059. Emma doesn't need to see it. She remembers that day with perfect clarity. She remembers everything. But she's determined that those memories will not define her. She's 17 years old in that footage. She's 19 now. She's got decades ahead of her. She's not the girl in the navy blue backpack anymore. She's a survivor, and she's just getting started.